team shocked the world by making the Final Four. Sounds like this year might not be a shock if you go that far.
Well, I think it's very hard. When you talk about Final Fours, you look over the last 4 years, the two best teams, the two best records in the country were Arizona and Virginia. They've won the most games and most championships of any teams in the country, and they did not get to the Final Four. So when you start talking, you got to go to the Final Four, you're really foolish. You know, you need to get in the tournament. That's what you need to be worried about. We've had some really, really good teams that didn't get to the Final Four. We've had, a couple of things that really things came together and got there. But it's a very difficult thing to do, and people start talking about that now, and like, well, this season won't be successful unless you go to Final Four. Those people are on .coms. They're on .coms for a reason.
Coach, so far with all the newcomers, whether it was the transfer, the freshmen, and the players that you already had here, how well have they blended together through the summer and through the first couple weeks of practice?
I think the first 2 weeks have been good. It's a very hard-working group. We've never put 5 new guys in 1 year that I can remember. We're actually 5 new guys that actually play a lot, which will happen this year. I think we will use 9 or 10 guys. I think we'll be able to do some more things. When you have 6, 7 guys, you can't press too much. There's certain things you can't do. So we'll be able to do some more things. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work, but we'll do some more things. But it's going to take a while to fit all these things together. When I spoke this summer, I said we have more depth, which is true. And we have, people at every position, a couple guys at every position, which we haven't had in a long time. Now, whether that equates into having a better team is something completely different from what I was talking about this summer. Maybe I wasn't clear.
Did you not say this is one of the best teams you've had in a while?
Could be. I always say this. Could be. I said that 1 year we won about 18 games. Good.
Coach, aside from dealing with the media, what do you see as the greatest challenge with this particular team?
The first one isn't a challenge. When I can't deal with you guys, I will be ready to be done next. Yeah, I think every team has its challenge. 5 new players, certainly is always is a major issue, getting those guys ready, blending everybody in. I think that's really the challenge for this group. In the regular season last year, we were not very good, and we really played well in the tournament, but that doesn't take away from the fact that we were not a very good team last year. And we need to be a lot better team this year than we were last year. We lost 3 really good players. 2 guys are playing in the NBA and 1 guy's playing in Spain, in the highest leagues in Spain. So I think we have a lot of work to do, and we're very happy with the talents that the guys we have, but we're a long way away. We got a lot of work to do. Again, we have never put 5 guys in a position where they're going to all be in a significant playing situation. That's a challenge.
Jim, it's 5th-year seniors, new guys to the program, but veterans for college basketball. Andrew White and John Gillen, how have they fit in here so far, and what kind of impact will they have?
They fit in well. They're more mature, a little bit more experienced, but they have to learn a new system. And sometimes they have some old habits. Not necessarily bad habits, but old habits that fit in someplace else that might not fit in here. So it takes an adjustment period for them, just as it does for the freshmen. But again, the 5 new guys are working hard. They're doing everything we've asked them to do, And I would rate them, their effort, of all the players, on a par or better than any group we've had for 2 weeks. Previous.
Jim, I think you said earlier this summer the tightest battle, if there's any freshmen in the country coming in this year. What
I
is
must
it?
say things in the summertime just for saying it, just to, I don't know, why do I say it?
What is it that you like about him? How do you
Well,
think?
he's a very talented player. He's got great size, quickness, athletic ability, plays hard all the time. You know, he works hard at the game. Again, he's a very, very good player. I think all 3 of our freshmen are playing very well. I think Matt Moyer has made up a lot of ground. He missed a lot. He's made up a lot of ground the last few days of practice. But those 2 freshmen and going in have played very, very well in practice. Very happy.
Jim, what have the last 13 months done for Pascal Stress?
You know, he's worked hard. Ryan has done a great job with him in the weight room. His lower body strength is still an issue, but his upper body strength is getting much better. His offensive game, you know, he didn't play offense in high school. He really, literally just played defense. And so last year, he really couldn't finish in the basket. He's gotten much better this year around the basket. It's been out of basketball for a year. And, that's always, it takes some time to get adjusted to that. But he's worked very hard. I think he's a much better player than he was a year ago. And I'm very happy with what he's doing.
Wasn't big one. Last year he was having come back from injury, had a full season, now he's working more on the game than just game.
I think day one's improved. I think obviously last year he hadn't played in 2 years. It's tough. I think he did really well, given the circumstances last year. I think he's playing better this year. I think he's shooting a little better. I think he's finishing a little bit better. I can't say enough about him. He deserves everything he gets. He's worked really, really hard for a long time. We can see the improvement over last time. I think all of our returning players, I see a significant improvement in Frank and what he's done, his physical and physicality, working the weight room, shooting the ball. He's working really hard. I think Tyler Lydon is really gotten big and strong and improved. I think Tyler Roberson playing a lot of it. I think all of the guys that are returning are playing at a much higher level than they did last year.
Coach, how key will Tyron Lydon be to the success of the team this year?
Well, he was key last year, so he's certainly not going to do any less this year. He'll be very important. He'll probably start at the 3, and he'll probably play some 4, and he'll play some 5 sometimes. He's one of the few players that I would ever try to let do that. In fact, he's probably the only player that I've ever let play those 3 positions, and he can do it.
You mentioned more and more depth this year. You mentioned the idea of not getting pressure more. Do you wish your teams in the last couple of years to play with a little more tempo, and do you want that to be?
Well, we have always liked to press here. It's hard to press in college basketball. Teams are just built to attack pressure and get easy shots. There's just too many well-coached good teams out there that it's hard to press. We have 7 guys in camp. You just can't use that energy that you have to use and still be able to get in the game. It's bad enough for guys are playing 36 minutes just without pressing. So you can't add that on. But we always have worked on it. Came in handy last year in a couple games. We wouldn't have won without pressure. But we think we'll pressure more. But again, when we get into the season and it's not there, we won't use it. We work on it all the time, every year. We work on our press every year, a lot, almost every practice. And Some years we just don't use it much at all. And other years it's been very important for us, but this team should be able to press more. But it's very hard to press good teams, well-coached teams. Because whenever you double the ball, somebody's open and good teams find that guy. And you get hooked that. But, yeah, I think we'll pick up the pressure.
Iowa Lyon's going to go from coming off the bench for you and having guys like Malachi and Mike Benajay, Trevor Cooney on the floor with him to this year, likely being in a much bigger role. What kind of adjustment is he going to go through?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a normal type progression. He doesn't have those guys, but he's got Andrew White, Frank Howell, Tyler Roberson. They want to come with him. But he didn't have to do everything. He'll do a little bit more probably, but he played 30 minutes a game. It's not like he played 20 minutes. So I'd like to hope that nobody has to play a whole lot of minutes this year. We'll see how it goes. But he's perfectly ready to do what he needs to do. He's got plenty of veteran players out there. He probably has more seniors, or as many seniors as any good team in the country, probably.
But you mentioned playing 9 or 10 guys. Do you think it's a misconception that you don't play guys?
Well, if you look at the record, if you're smart enough to look back at the record, you know that we have. If you're not smart enough to, why should I talk?
What's one or two elements you hope Andrew White can add to your team?
Well, I know he can shoot. He's a good player. He was a lead rebounder in Nebraska last year. Probably didn't win a lot. But he's a good player. He's a good all-around player. He's a veteran guy.
Do you want him to be the same player for you this year that he was at Nebraska? Does he fit into your team?
No, I mean, we're different. All that stuff will unfold. I probably predicted, but I'm not going to say. Somebody will say, why did you say that?
When you have a couple grad transfers like you do they come in and fill a leadership role right away, or since they're new, do they kind of slip into maybe a different role they had with your other squads?
That's a good question. I think every team has different guys that, in terms of leadership. I think we have a lot of veteran guys. I expect them all to be leaders. I do. I think that we have guys that are capable that don't necessarily say a lot, but if they want to say something, they'll all listen to them. For sure. And I think we've got a lot of guys that can do this. Best teams have a lot of guys that are leaders. Listen to me, they won't have to do it enough to lead.
What do you see from John Gillen?
John's a really good player. He pushes the ball up the court. He can get in the lane. He's quick, physically strong. I think he's a real good player. He gives us something that we don't have in terms of that penetration, quickness, and he's a good shooter. He's a very good player.
Jim, we've seen a lot of athletes be more vocal about social justice issues. What are your thoughts on protesting during the national anthem, and have you talked to your guys about that?
We haven't talked about we will, but they have to decide for themselves what they think is something they would want to do. We would talk about it as a team. I've always been a believer if you want to do something, do it. Do something constructive. I've never been a protest guy. I don't think that accomplishes that much. I think if you want to get involved in the community, that's a good thing. You should do that. I think what we did in Los Angeles with the Olympic team, we talked to the community, we talked to the police, the chief of police of Los Angeles was there. Somebody from his officers were there. I think that kind of movement was good. We accomplished something. I've always believed in stand for the national anthem. That's important. When I do that, I think look at it that way. But, you know, everybody's got their own way of protesting something, and drawing attention to something. And I'm not going to criticize anybody for doing that. And our players are welcome to we'll talk about it. And if they would like to do something, that's something we would talk about.
What's your reaction to the notice of applications that you received in your?
I'm always concerned about safety. I don't know, where are we ranked? 17. 17, huh? Geez, that voted for a lot higher. You know, it's, you know, like I said it 100 times, you know, preseason rankings is good, people think you might have a chance, but, you know, you gotta go around the court. You don't get into the tournament because of your ranking at the beginning of the year. Well, you got a lot of questions today.
I've been waiting a whole year. Two transfers. Historically, you haven't taken on transfers. This year, is it strictly in case of need, or have you changed your philosophy?
I mean, 8 guys, you know, usually 8 guys, are down pretty quick, so we knew we had to get somebody. And we were fortunate to get Johnny early, and then Andrew came available late. And he needed another shooter to have the kind of team he'd like to have, and he was available. Very, very happy with it, and we were able to get some time. So the transfers we've taken have been very impactful on our program, whether it was Wes Johnson. We haven't taken that much, but the guys we've taken have been very impactful. And when you're down numbers and you can get a fifth year, I don't like the rule, but it's the rule there, and can help your team. We try to help the team, and we certainly help our team with Johnny and with Andrew, and so that's what they're looking to do, but it's not something that we would always do. It's something you do in certain circumstances. And, you know, the guys leaving, all of a sudden, you know, if Malachi had stayed, we probably would have not taken him. We probably would have gone into that one. We probably would have just played with the 9 guys. But, once he left, we're not going to get another player, freshman in that stage, that kind of year, so something you have to look at. And it's here to stay pretty much now. You know, there's over 100 guys that left. So if you need a guy, at that stage of the year, you can't get a freshman, it's going to help you. So if you can get a guy that started 2 or 3 years someplace, that's going to play. You know, you have to do that to help your team. You don't hurt recruiting, and you really get something we didn't have, so we're not hurting any of our players.
Coach, statistics don't always show the spirit of a team. What kind of intangibles do you see with this group that you think is going to help you move forward?
What kind of
Intangibles. Those things you can't quite
Well,
measure.
you never know about a team till you get in the games. I mean, everybody's winning now. Everybody's happy. Everybody's you got to wait until you get in there until you have a couple battles. And you know, last year's team, they struggled. We got beat, but we came every game. We played every game. We tried to win every game. We never were down much. The good thing about last year's team, we were close. I mean, all year. It wasn't like we were getting beat by a lot, and then all of a sudden we played better. We played pretty well all year. We didn't play that much better in the tournament than we played all year, and I don't even think we played better in the tournament than we played all year. But we were playing North Carolina and some of those teams, and, you know, Virginia and Louisville on the road, Florida State on the road. Those are, you're not going to win those games unless you really we weren't really good. So that team just kept playing. We were a bit discouraged. You know, I'm sure many thought we should give up and start over and get a new coaching staff and get a new system, couldn't play zone anymore. All those things. But they did stop talking about that after 2 months. That's the way it was. there's always adversity. There's always adversity. Always. It's never a smooth sail. You have to overcome things, and I'm sure we'll have that same circumstance this year.
Coach, we saw a large emphasis on the free ball last year. Can we expect the same from this year as well?
You know, we'll shoot some threes. I think last year we really, that was the best way for us to score last year. I think we can do some other things this year, but it's part of the game now. Yeah, you want to shoot the threes. Everybody that can make them can shoot.
A few years ago, you guys had a big progression with Rock moving from his junior to his senior year. Can we expect anything like that from Tyler and his offensive game?
Which Tyler?
Tyler Robeson, sorry, excuse me. My bad.
You know, Tyler is, he's what he is. He's not going to change a lot. He lives at it. I think he's made some improvements, but he's, you know, to make that jump, he's got to make that, be able to make it consistently make it 15, 16 foot. If he does that, he's going to make a big jump.
What's the good stuff in the league?
Well, league's good. A lot of good teams. 10, 11 teams, maybe 12 if you try to fight their way to the tournament. It's really better than it's been. It's been pretty good. Not again for another year.
Good.
Thank you. Appreciate it.